Yeah, well, you too. The purpose of our session, first thing I learned. I'm teaching you the same thing I learned yesterday. So now that I want to go on, all these annotations will stay on the screen. Martin, welcome. I can see your text, but nothing else yet. I'll click save. And then I click clear. Sorry, that's going to be then all gone. And then I click my annotation tools away. And then the next screen. Ta-da! So the purpose of our session today is to share our best practices for virtual facilitation. I've attended some of the IAF EMENA meetings, online meetings, and I thought we still have something to learn about this. And I'm here also as a learner. I'm not a virtual facilitation trainer, but I'm fortunate to have a colleague who is. So I know what is possible. It's a matter of learning it. So I thought you all might have some experiences of virtual meetings and sessions. How could we apply facilitation, like a real participatory session online? So it's a workshop. And for those who have less experience, it is a way of getting an experience of a facilitated virtual meeting. I guarantee it's not going to be perfect. I started learning it yesterday, but I'll do my best. The program for the next hour looks long, but it's actually quite short. We'll spend a while getting started, and I'm going to ask about your own objectives. What are your expectations for our session? I have loads of expectations. My own expectations are really high. I'm curious to hear yours. Then we have the status of what's our skill level in terms of virtual facilitation. In case somebody's much more experienced than me, I think we're going to switch over the facilitator. And I have then two options, A or B. Either it's a brainstorming session of what are the best practices, in case many of us have lots of experience. In case most of us have less experience, then I'll share some of the best practices my colleague told me. And after this, we'll reflect on how could we improve our IAF EMENA virtual meetings and how to apply everything we experienced. Also maybe to other virtual meetings we have. And then I'm hoping to end exactly in an hour because I have to free my nanny at home eventually and I have 45 minutes to get home. Any comments about the program?
It sounds wonderful to me. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
One happy part as well. Great.
I'm very happy. Can you see my video? I see you.
Martin, welcome. Now I can see your video as well.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Hello.
I've also succeeded in starting the recording in the meantime.
Oh, I already forgot it. Thank you. You found the recording button.
Yes.
Great. So the roles are such that I'll be the facilitator of this session. I might switch to a trainer role if necessary. I'm located in Helsinki. And I have a new surname. You might have known me as Kantojärvi last time. I got married to a Dutch guy 1.5 months ago. Thanks. So, ik spreek ook beetje Nederlands. And your role is to be a participant. And I propose some common ways of working to make it easier for us to communicate together online. First, I'm asking that whenever you're not talking, you can mute your microphone. That makes it possible for you to chew chewing gum or any background noise won't disturb us. Currently, we don't have any, but it's still a good way of working that we are all unmuted. In case you have some network errors, it's good to turn off the video and then your web might work a little better. The meeting is very short. I hope you can be here 100% and skip multitasking. We might need some virtual patience when either me or one of you is not finding all the functions of this new program. If you want to interrupt and comment something or ask a question, you can either use the chat or when you click participants, I think you can find a place where it says participants, 8 people, there you can raise a hand. So I show it, lower hand and raise a hand. And then I can give you a possibility to comment. Otherwise, we might be talking on top of each other. And as we don't know each other too good, it's a good habit to say your name before you're talking. So I could say, it's Spirit, I'm here asking da da da. So let's test the raise hand thing. If you agree with our way of working in this meeting, these 5 things, please raise your hand.
Yes.
Goalie. Good. Raise your hand if you agree with the way of working.
Yeah, there was it. No, it's away. It has gone.
Yes, I also can't see it.
Yes, I have already seen it, but then it has gone away. What's the matter? Ah, now I have it. So?
Great. Christian, you found it?
Yes, I found it. You have to change it in the menu, the down menu. You have to go to point. Yes, you have to go to the point chat, and then you have it.
Yeah, it's the same place where you can find chat.
Yes. It is where you can mute and you can raise your hand. It's the same here.
Okay, so I lower my hand, you can lower your hands again. Half of you got it. You can keep searching for it later. So we got 50% agreement for the way of working. Next test about tuning in to the spirit of our session would be nice to know where are we all located. Where you click annotate underneath the draw, you can find this green sign, so you could locate yourself. Annotate, draw, and then you can find a green check mark. So I'm here in Helsinki. Please locate yourselves on the map.
I don't know where I am here. Here? No, this is not my name. This is I see.
Marietta, you haven't said anything yet, so I'm asking you. Could you give us a comment? What do you think about the locations you see? How does it look like? You have to first unmute yourself.
Yeah, okay. It's been a while that the arrow.
Oh, can't hear anything. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
No, it's better. No, it's perfect. Brilliant.
Okay. So I'm from Ljubljana, Slovenia, and apparently the arrow didn't stay the way I thought it would. So.
And how does it look like? Where are we all located? Far away from you,
what do you mean? That I just read through what I see here? I see Moscow, London, Kassel, and then something here, which is probably Israel. And then, yeah, that's it. That's what I see right now. And yeah, somebody in Finland, I guess.
Yes.
And Celeste Brito trying to show something, I guess, in Portugal or Spain, and Martin in England. So I see 2 ways. Some people have named the towns and some people the names and the arrows.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, now I need to remember to do save, then clear all, and next page. Expectations. I was not sure how many people would attend. We could write it on this board because there's only 8 of us, or we could use the chat. So let's say, let's try the chat as I planned. Please write a comment in the chat. What are you expecting from this 1-hour session? Would be great to see a comment from everyone in the chat.
Yeah.
I think we're almost all there. Goli, could you please try to summarize what kind of expectations people seem to have?
Yeah, sure. What I see from these writings, I see that most of us are interested in doing practices regarding virtual facilitation. Some of us are happy to see each other, and I see that we are willing to learn and get to know better how to work with this software as we're working now. And also Christian wants to know about conference in Paris. Okay, let me see if I miss anyone else comment. Okay, I see positive emotions. We are already enjoying. Okay, I think that's all. Is that right? Yeah.
Thank you. Anybody wants to ask? You can raise your hand. Alexandra has a hand up. And Martin.
I raised the hand when you asked to. It was long ago, about 5 minutes.
Alexandra, could you please say it again or either write it in a chat? Because,
Can you hear me now?
It's really bad. I have noise behind.
Let's try again. Can you
No, it's
hear me
better.
now?
No, it's perfect. No,
Oh,
it's
yes, okay. I said that I raised my hand when we practiced to raise a hand.
okay. Okay.
And shall I jump in, Peter?
Britta is muted.
Oh, Peter is muted.
Martin, your hand was up, that's why I gave
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I mean, for me, this is a 3-year journey of just getting more comfortable with all this new stuff, and the new stuff continues. I remember my first virtual sort of conference thing 3.5 years ago, where I was completely terrified of doing anything. So for me, it's just a matter of getting more and more relaxed, knowing that things will kind of go wrong, as it were, and then just carrying on anyway and just breathing and chilling. So it's the same as in a face-to-face meeting, but just becoming now comfortable with this and accepting, as I said in my chat, failing and then carrying on with a smile and carrying on anyway. Just have to keep practicing.
Okay, so we'll add here getting comfortable.
Yeah, yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, I've got the same. I'm absolutely not comfortable with all this online stuff. So now I have to, again, save, clear everything. It's a strange program because you have to clear everything in order to move forward. And here, I think this was crucial in terms of are we having a brainstorming or a short presentation. I'd like to know what is the skill level in this group about facilitating virtual meetings. There are lots of different programs available. Zoom is completely new to me. I've used some of the other ones. I think I'm more comfortable with Skype. You've used the stamp tool already, so please use the stamp tool again to highlight what's your own level of facilitation skills online. The left part is where you have no experience of being the leader, but you've participated in an online meeting, either never before or in a passive way, just listening and talking, not writing. Active, you've tried all this whiteboard stuff and poll and so on. And then virtual meeting leader, meeting chair means that you've been presenting something but not really facilitating. Beginner virtual facilitator, more experienced and more comfortable, and the right hand edge is your professional virtual facilitator or virtual facilitation trainer. So please highlight, where are you? We're missing 2 people. Great, thank you. Dirk, what does it look like? How could you summarize this? What's the skill level of our group currently? Dirk, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I had to remove the other menu to get back to the main menu and unmute myself. Okay, so it looks like quite a few people already have some experience with even leading a virtual meeting. And we have 3 people who only participated to a virtual meeting so far.
So do you think it's okay to have a brainstorming session based on this or not?
Well, the majority has at least been an active participant. So yeah, I think we can try that and get the 2 people who only have been passive participants get along with this.
Yeah. So those who've only been a passive participant, it might be a little challenging, but you could think about all kinds of experiences you've had. So we are moving to a brainstorming session, which we'll use on a whiteboard. The way of working is such that first there's individual quality time for 5 minutes, where you have a chance to think about your last really good or really bad virtual meeting. It could be as a participant or as a leader, or maybe it's even a story you heard from somebody else. But think about something that you really were either bothered because it was so bad, or you were really satisfied and happy with it. It could be a whole meeting or some part of it. And based on this experience, I'm hoping you to list what guarantees that your facilitated virtual meeting or workshop is successful. We are hunting for best practices for virtual facilitation. And it's now 22 past. We'll continue 28 past, and in the meanwhile, I'll open up a whiteboard. Just a second, I'll do that. You can all see a whiteboard. Best practices. So time begins. Use your own quality time for writing
So we should now be writing in the whiteboard. Is that what you're asking?
Write on the whiteboard. Yeah.
Yeah.
The time is almost up. It's Pirita talking here. And the whiteboard's almost full, at least on my screen. So if you still have something in your mind, there's space at the very bottom. We've missed one participant. I'm not sure who we missed. Celeste Brito. Christian, would it be okay for you to try to? No, well, I'm taking my thinking back. Let's not try to summarize it. Instead, we spend time reading it on our own, and then we'll vote on those things that you find most important. And it might be that the same thing is in 2 different places. So then you have to choose which one would you like to vote for. And once we voted, then we discuss which ones are those items that got the most votes, and we'll try to summarize based on the voting. So this is how we proceed. So go for the draw function and find the green arrow we used before. You can use 3 green arrows, and you can put all 3 on the same place. Let's say managing time is the only really important virtual meeting best practice. Then you can put all 3 there, or you can divide them in 3 different locations. So put 3 arrows clearly in those things that you find most crucial to make a virtual meeting successful. Based on me counting 7 people, I think we are done. Now, Christian, I'm asking you to summarize which items got the most. Just pick those that got the most votes. You can combine if there's one that got 1 and the other one got 1, and it's the same thing.
As far as I can see now, of course, there's one dimension. One dimension is that everybody should be involved and could be active, that we have a content facilitator who is able really to facilitate this session in the right manner, because it's a difference to a face-to-face meeting. I think another main point is that there's a software and the technical circumstances are in the right way, because if you don't have these prerequisites, then it's nerving, and if it doesn't work. And I think there's only one check mark, but this check in and before that is also in this distributed content facilitator, technical facilitator roles, 2 different people. There's somebody who really helps and who ensures that there is a good technical approach and a check-in where you can answer all the questions. but later on during the session, you need really an experienced facilitator who knows that the kind of communication during such a workshop or such a conversation is really different to a face-to-face conversation, and he or she has to be, I think, partly, it would be best he or she were experienced dealing with these tools. That is what I can see. Okay, the separate shares, that is double, and it's a new approach for me, because normally you're only this one, and so the facilitator for the session itself normally is a chair for the technical issues. Okay, that is what I can see.
Thank you, Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Would anybody else like to comment? You can raise your hand.
Okay, raise my hand.
Martin, feel free.
Yeah, thank you. I think back to my experience of about 3 weeks ago, when there were 3 of us delivering a webinar, and we divided the roles. I dealt with the content and researched the content. There was somebody else who was essentially the facilitator, was chairing it, and who was very accomplished with Adobe Connect. And then there was a third person who was the technical lifeguard, let's call them. And that seemed to work really well. The other people were Sunny Walker, who's an IAF member she was on the west coast of the US. Martin Gilbraith chaired it and is familiar with Adobe Connect. And I was sitting in his flat, but in another room, and presented the content. And this was a webinar with IAF in India, and I think there were about 40 or 50 people on it. So I just felt that arrangement for something of that sort of scale with 3 very clear roles worked very well. And that's why I put in about the virtual lifeguard, because if there was any problem, she just dealt with it. And half the time, neither Martin or I knew there was someone who had a problem with the speaker or sound or connection, because she just dealt with it. I was impressed by that. And I enjoyed it as a presenter. Well, that's just how we decided we would play to our strengths, having been asked to do this together. So, and I think, in a face-to-face meeting, you can have a facilitator who will take care of the tables and the chairs and the coffee and so on. You can do that. But the task of taking care of those practicalities in a virtual environment is much, much more complex and much more prone to disaster than coffee and chairs and tables, which is why it's worth having someone who will do that. It's just a greater order of difficulty.
I've got similar experiences. So
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like there are 4 things. One was the check-in, when you check in that everything is working technically, not necessarily yet the check-in of the group getting together. Technical things, the software and everything related to that. Third was involving everybody, and 4th thing was the 3 roles actually. The facilitator role and content role and the technical role. I've saved it, I hope. Clearing it. Sounds scary. And then closing it. Oh, now I got this videos. Only now I'm learning to share the PowerPoint again. Where is it? Here. So the best practices for virtual facilitation. It's now 37 past. We are really efficient. I would like to discuss the outcomes. I wrote them here on paper, and I'll soon write them back on the screen. The advantage of normal piece of flip chart paper is that you can keep it all visible in the room. This was just something I prepared in case it wouldn't show up. Maybe there's something to add. I think whatever you said is actually covered by these ground rules that my colleague at Great People is teaching in our virtual facilitation trainings. And it's surprising that even very experienced virtual meeting chairs don't know how to use this group memory, writing things down to activate people. But now I'm feeling always so handicapped with my mouse that's disappearing. Sorry for being slow, but I can't find my mouse.
If I may add, can I add, under number 1, the ground rules, another problem that I often see is that, in fact, I do it, we all do it, is you raise your hand, but then you forget to take it down. So after 5 minutes, the facilitator is saying, "Oh, Martin, you want to say something?" And I say, "Oh, no, sorry, I should have taken it down." So this is a tiny thing, but I notice this keeps on happening quite a lot, and it's unnecessary.
Okay, well.
Yeah, so just to teach people the discipline to raise and then lower your hand.
Yeah.
Which, of course, in a real situation isn't a problem because your arm gets tired.
My preparations wasn't really perfect. The discussion together about the best practices for IAF EMENA virtual meetings, I would like to document that on a separate whiteboard. So just to check, I open up the whiteboard. Everything would be like 3 seconds faster with little more experience with Zoom. So I would like us to open up a discussion about how to apply these best practices in IAF EMENA virtual meetings. We could make this as a small group discussions if I was able to do that, but currently I didn't figure out how to do breakout sessions in Zoom. I suppose it's possible, but I didn't yet know how. So let's have a whole group discussion. Fortunately, our group is not very large. So let's try this shaking hand thing so we won't end up talking on top of each other. And then remember to put your hand down as well. And I'll try to summarize our previous session here on the board. So question is how to apply these key best practices in IAF EMENA meetings. Anybody with the first comment?
Do you want this verbally or to be written
Yes.
on the board?
Let's have a group discussion with the raise hand function. Alexandra.
Just as idea, maybe we can create a small manual of one list of A4 with drawings or best advices how to make a virtual meeting a very nice one, and to send everyone who always participates in virtual meetings this helping list, helping drawing or visualization, where we can put everything we discussed or some best practices that always help facilitators to make a meeting very nice one.
Thank you. Lower your hand. Martin.
Yeah. So just to build on that, Alexandra, I agree. I think the short manual should be no more than half a side of A4 paper, so very short, a little bit like Preeta, you just showed these main points, and that we identify that absolutely as prototyping. We say this, like with software, we say this is good enough to get us going, and we call it version 1. And with some basic things, and we just practice using that. But we know there will be a version 2 at some point, and maybe a version 3 and 3.1, but we just start. And the reason I say that is I think that collectively, we already know what we would put in that. It's not difficult to start. The hard bit is everybody practicing and getting familiar with it. So with the prototyping, we start and then use it. And then one day someone will say, we need to improve this. So then it's a version 2. So, and that's why, Preeta, I think it's wonderful you're doing this, because we're all groping our way forward, trying to learn to do it. And, so we practice. So.
Thank you. Marietta.
I would use this check-in and on two levels. One might be to perhaps have before we start the meeting, like 10 minutes just for those who are with us for the first time, to have some kind of a technical check-in before we officially start at 7. So whoever wants some support or just to test their technical facilities, this is one thing. And the second, for me, even more important, is to have just a personal check-in, because having all this distance in virtual reality, to me, it's super helpful just to hear very briefly where we are from and maybe something else that is relevant to the content. So have around a circle, virtual circle, before we dive into any kind of deeper content. That will help me to connect with everyone enough to feel more inspired to continue content-wise. I am complete.
Thank you. To comment on this number 5, had I known that we only have 8 people, I would have planned it. But in Dirk's invitation, we had 37 people. And then I thought, if we have 37 comments, it's gonna take at least 37 minutes. And I've been in IAF EMENA meeting where we spent 45 minutes for this kind of personal check-in. So then maybe something would be that, could we somehow know how many people are attending? Because that does make a difference in the process. Could we ask people to sign up for the meeting or something?
I would have to check this with on Zoom. At the moment, I can't really tell if we can invite and where you have to register before you can join. On the other hand, we do want to have the meeting open to everybody.
Yeah.
That's kind of estimate.
This is Martin. I think otherwise. I think, however, even if we try to get everybody to sign in, it will always be the case that an unexpected number turns up, either unexpectedly large or small. So then I think it is then for the facilitator to know that they're going to have to be light on their feet. And as you would in a room of 35 people, you wouldn't ask everybody to speak. You would just ask enough people to either speak, or maybe just to give one word how you feel or what you think, or the weather, or just one word, so that you can take more people. So I think this is then the flexibility is needed at that point, because it's never going to be perfect. You're never going to know how many people are going to turn up, because there are delinquent people like me. I knew I was going to turn up, but I didn't tell anyone. I just turned up.
Yeah.
And at the last minute, of which I apologize, we have a plumber here, so we got into some difficulties a few minutes before the meeting.
Other comments? How to apply the best practices for IAF EMENA virtual meetings?
Well, I think is what I learn more and more is it might, working with these tools, with these videos and these virtual meetings, I do use it too seldom. Even when I'm in Germany and with our German IAF group or other people, normally we have the phone and sometimes we do some Skype. And I think it were really helpful if that is what I think I will do, that I'm used to use it as much as possible, so that even for minor occasions I do conversations, for example, with the Zoom tool, so that I'm really by praxis I'm much more in it. And so when I do a IMENA meeting, then it's not a special occasion for me. Then it's like normal, because I do it every time. And that is, I think, what I had to have to do, because every time when I do it with the IMENA or sometimes with other people, it's a little bit a start from the scratch, because then perhaps 2 or 3 months have gone and I never used it in between. And I think that's a problem for a facilitator. It's a problem for me.
Thank you. Marietta mentioned she has to go soon. So I think we could start wrapping up our meeting so we can end the meeting on time and she can attend her next meeting as well.
Yeah.
I'll save this screen and then I'll share. No, yeah. Screen. Not really trusting that this works. Can you all see a slide saying feedback?
Yeah.
Am I actually sharing a slide with feedback? Yes?
Yes, you can see, yes.
So our closing ceremony consists of 3 parts, where first part is, now we used to learn to use the green stamp. Please rate our meeting between 1 and 5, 1 being really poor and 5 being excellent, and all the other numbers there in between. Then please write a comment in the chat, how was this meeting? And then I would like to hear one final comment from everyone. And you can ask for the comments by lifting up your hand. So rate the meeting and write a comment in the chat. Marietta, your last word. Marietta, your last comment.
Yeah, it took me a few seconds to unmute. Yeah, I'm super uncomfortable with this kind of evaluations, you know, just giving a number without giving any kind of background. That's my comment.
You can give the background.
So, yeah.
So what's
yeah, for me it was very helpful just to practice and try this out and to be in a learning environment. I just, yeah, wasn't comfortable with the number. That's me right now.
Thank you. Have a good meeting tonight.
Thank you.
Next comment. Christian.
What I'm really interested in, during our session now, I watched a little bit the page from Zoom, and I could see that what it costs, the fees. And Dirk, is it for IAF? It's an IAF tool that you have this professional version for 14 euros a month, or how do you do it? Because I think if I did it for IAF Germany, somebody of us should have an account and we have to pay it. How do you deal with this issue in the Netherlands?
We have one account for IAF.
Mm-hmm.
We use it for board meetings, EMENA chapter meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a number of other types of meetings planned.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we can only have like one meeting at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I haven't played with the free version yet, but I think the main limit is that your session is maximum 40 minutes long.
Yes, that's a problem, yes. Mm-hmm.
At least that's a good thing to explore the tool and to have short calls. But I'm not sure how we can use it within the organization. There's only one user ID and password at the moment.
Oh, yeah. Okay, it's yours? It's your account?
No, it's a global account.
It's a global account. From IAF Global.
Indeed.
I don't understand. Yes. Okay.
Okay, going through your last comments. I'm aiming to end early. Goalie, how was it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it was really good practice. I have one suggestion also, if it can be considered. We can have for our IAF meetings, I mean, we can have some global codes only for ourselves. I don't know how you think of it, but it seems that at least we can all be at the same level, and we can have a manual for it, and indeed it facilitates using virtual meetings. And by the way, thank you.
Thank you. Alexandra, your last comment.
Yes, I wrote it in comments. Thank you so much for this meeting. I got some encouragement to make a virtual meeting after this one. So I think I will try my own meetings now. And this was a very great for me idea to practice using these programs, even if you do not need to make a big virtual meeting. If you, for example, if I need to make a call with 1 or 2 people, I can use a special program just to practice. Not to use the easiest way, but to practice with this program in a very comfortable way with familiar people and with my colleagues, to make some mistakes, to correct them, and to try once and once again. Thank you.
And thank you. And Martin, your last words.
Well, I really appreciated this, Preeta, that you took the chance to jump in and do this. So thank you. I appreciate it very much. Like it's Alexandra, I'm just using this for everyday contacts with clients, like Christian, you suggested. And so then with that, I just slowly get familiar. What I've seen today, which I haven't done before, is the whiteboards. I haven't used that yet. So you've encouraged me to do 2 things. One is to use the whiteboards, and the other is to sort out the green screen, which, Preeta, I see you have the ocean behind you, and I'm assuming that's just a picture, not the real ocean. So I'm going to play with that next time, because I know you can do it with Zoom, and I've never used that. So I want to have all sorts of cool backgrounds.
The background is real wall. I'm in our virtual facilitation room. We have one room meant for virtual facilitation with this funny background on the wall.
I see. Okay. Okay. Well, I know that you can, in Zoom, you can put a green screen at the back. And if anybody wants some, I have some spare, so I will send it to you free of charge. I bought too much, so just tell me. And then you can just put images on it, anything you like.
Wow.
You can change them. You can change them, and you can have video and all sorts of cool stuff, which I haven't done yet, but I will do one day when I get more courageous.
Yeah. Guys, you're a great team. We are ending our meeting 5 minutes before we are due. And now I would like to give the stage to Dirk to say what's going to happen next.
Okay, thanks, Preeta. Well, thanks for hosting this meeting. I think it was a very good experience. It was the most extended experience I really had with virtual facilitated meetings so far. I just wanted to take the opportunity now to talk about the Paris conference, since Christian also asked for information about it. The website recently has been updated, I believe, with updated information. But on Friday morning, before the conference starts, we will actually have another meeting where we want to work together and work out how we should use our chapters, how we should work with our chapters and our members. There is already some information on the website. Christian, if you want, you can also review the chapter meeting from June, because it was entirely devoted to the Paris conference. It can be reviewed on the IAF World website.
Okay, thanks. Thanks a lot. We'll do that. Thank you, yes.
Anything else that we need to discuss during this meeting?
One question, do you know how many now already are enrolled for the conference?
No, I'm sorry, I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay.
I've seen somewhere number 100 at least.
Okay, oh, that's great already, yes.
I just remember seeing it somewhere.
Mhm.
So who's hosting the next virtual meeting with Zoom?
I do.
Great.
So this
I
is
hope it will go so well as today's one.
I felt really uncomfortable with it, but I thought it's good to start after the holidays with something.
Yeah.
But I'll try to save everything and send everything to Dirk, and he can share these documents with everybody. So, thank you for attending. I hope your motivation to attend next meeting is very high, and you'll all apply all these annotation tools and everything in your own meeting.
Absolutely.
So let's give applause.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Peter, for your preparation. I know these things take a lot of time. Thank you.
Yes, thanks a lot from me too.
Thank you, guys. You made it good.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Bye bye.